Hi and welcome to this month's February's Q&A. We're in February? We're still in February.
No, we're in March.
We're in March?
Yep.
When did we turn up to March?
Today.
Oh, okay. We're in March. I'm downstairs because Phil's putting the fire on and I'm doing a Q&A. Can you both just go lie down? Go lie down. And I've got some news to tell you that there's a couple that do know about it. They've known about it for a couple of months now. But yeah, so I'll go on with the Q&A first. So what we got? So Liz said she's got some Eucalan liquid that she uses for wash setting her yarns, but currently she can't find it. What can I use as an alternative? Personally, I use fabric conditioner, okay, and I only use a dash of it because it's highly concentrated these days. So just a dash of that. Alternatively, use a hand wash because it's really quite delicate, okay. Don't use your, the bottles of Delicates wash for wool and silks that you can buy at the supermarket. Don't use that, whatever you do. I know it is for wool and it says it's for silk. Silk would be fine, but what it actually happens is it's got a lot of enzymes in there. I don't know what it is that they're doing when they're making it up. Maybe it's some sort of really concentrated fabric conditioner. I don't know. Yes, it does make your wools really soft, but what it does is the enzymes actually break down the structure of your wool. So I advise to stay clear of that. You can get environmentally friendly fabric conditioners now, the eco range, that are a bit expensive, but you're not going to be using a lot. So it'll last you a long time if you want to go down that route. And some of them are on fragrance, some of them have got a bit of fragrance. I prefer the fragranced ones. And I know my customers, when they get their bats and their rovings and stuff, they're like, oh, what did you use on that? So I always have to tell them which one it's one I've used this time round. So yeah, there you go. So that's what my tip is for that. I always use just a supermarket brand or a brand one. I don't use the cheap stuff. I use the really good stuff anyway. No point giving me product names because you all know which ones you like. So just use one of those. Just use the lesser dosage what you would use if you were using it in the washing machine. You only need a dash to just smell like that water, and it'll help soften and level out the pH balance on your wool, especially if you've just dyed it or you've bought something that's been dyed. But then the person that's probably washed that themselves has probably used something in the water anyway. But you can, yeah, if you're going to wash it, just add a little tiny dash of fabric conditioner or hand soap, and that'll do the job. She also said the other week she'd watched me. I think it was on YouTube Live. Was it YouTube or was it Instagram? And I was dyeing up some rovings. Actually, it was Instagram. And I was dyeing up some rovings, and I was using one of my big trays. And she said that I turned it around for the heat to get to the other side to help clear out make the water clear for the dye stock solution to penetrate the wool. Was that what I was trying to achieve? Yes, it was. I don't see the point of putting on 2 rings for my large trays. Firstly, I'll end up with a flame that sits right out, so when I go to grab the tray afterwards, it'll be burning. It'll be singed at the top. So I generally sort of move it around to heat distribute my trays, and I'll just flip it around from one side to the other, so I know that end's got a bit more heat in there to build it up. I could easily sit the tray with the heat just in the middle, and it'll eventually do outside. But I find through years of practice that A, it wears out the tin if I just heat it in the middle, and B, all the heat's going to the center of the wool that I'm trying to dye, so I'm just trying to evenly distribute by turning the tray around. That's all I'm doing. So I hope that helps, Liz. Alison says she's bought recently as a treat for herself a Blueface Leicester fleece that was supposed to be washed from Benbridge Woolworks. It cost her a fortune, and it was supposed to be washed, but she says she's still having to wash it now herself because it just doesn't feel right, and it's got lots of yellow tinge and it's matted. I have bought from Benbridge Woolworks before, and I swore blind that I wouldn't do it again. I can't remember what it was. It might have been a Dorset horn that I ordered from them, and like you say, it was matted. There was bleach sun tinging on it. I would have said that sheet was probably about 3, maybe 4 seasons old, years old, from an older ewe or a hogget or something like that. There was at least 3 years old. And it wasn't the nicest quality, and I was not happy with the price that I paid for it. It wasn't yeah, it was in a really bad condition, very, very coarse wool. I mean, I know that some wools are really coarse, but this felt like it was proper weather beaten. And what I tend to find is with these companies that are mills themselves, and I bought that when Bembridge were first started, and I've never bought anything from them since because of that experience and from what I've heard from other people as well. Because they do actually process the fleeces themselves, don't they? They wash them and then they put them into, card them up into rovings or whatever, or bats. And I'm not sure if they actually spin the wool as well. I'm not sure at all. But they buy in bulk from farmers, and they're probably taking the best of the bunch to put through for them to sell on themselves. And the fleeces that we're buying off the shelf are probably not been looked at and quality controlled by somebody, that one of the staff that actually understands what a spinner or a felter is looking for. Those fleeces that you buy from them, I would say, are probably better suited for vegan rugs because they are matted. Maybe not all of them, but from what I've seen for people on Facebook pages, and you're saying the same as well, and what I've had an experience of, that's what I would say. They're more aimed at the vegetarian rug felting things. Have a go at doing that instead of going through the process of trying to spin it, because it might not even feel that nice when you spun it anyway. But yeah, I think that's what they're doing, is they're keeping the best stuff that they're buying in bulk from the breeders or from the farmers, and then actually, because that's what they're doing, they put posts out to source it in, get the breeders, the farmers and everything else to try and cut out the middleman of the wool board. But they need to remember that there's people like us that we want top quality fleeces to work with. We don't want the rubbish bits that they don't want, and they're not taking that into consideration. So they may end up, I mean, there's loads of people out there that are really quite happy with it. Maybe they've never known that there's actually an alternative if you start getting really fussy. I saw in your comments as well, like replies to other Patreon members, that it's put you off ordering and that you've had the same sort of experiences from Facebook groups as well. I've bought from, the only place I buy from on Facebook is the Greasy Fleece Marketplace. And I've had some decent ones over the years. You really just need to quiz the breeder and the farmer a lot. And I'll give you an example. I buy my Blueface Leicester from a farm in Wales, and her fleeces are amazing. She's got Blueface Leicester. She washes them before they actually get shorn, and she keeps all the fleeces in the barn. She top quality. The locks are so soft and they're in really good condition. She doesn't let them near the barn and straw or anything like that. And she knows how to skirt the fleeces as well, really well. It's a farm called Secret Small Holdings Farm. They're based in Wales. It's a family-run farm. I think it's two, maybe three generations now. The lady you can find them on Facebook, because they have an on-site butchers as well. They've got a butchers in their family farm, and her and her father started expanding the family business to survive more than anything else. I think they've got a cafe on site. They've got the butcher, their own livestock as well, but it's like proper old-fashioned husbandry. They really do look after their animals. And she does butcher's packs and everything else on the Facebook page. So it's Secret Small Holding Farms. And when you message them, do a direct message and to inquire about if she's got any Blueface Leicester fleeces available. And the name is Hayley Steele that you're looking for. Give her a shout. Tell her that Joe from Woolly Cottage sent you over, and she may have some fleeces still left in stock. I haven't had a chance to buy any fleeces off her since the beginning of last year, but I buy in the kilo. You'd be able to buy a larger one, but I buy about 1.5 from her, because that's just what I like to buy, and that cost me about 20 quid plus postage on top, or thereabouts. So, and she never messes me around. She knows what I use it for, but she knows her stuff. So that's who I'd advise you to, Alison. Get in touch with her. So I'll repeat it again: Secret Small Holding Farm. Go onto Facebook, look them up, and then do a direct message and say you want to leave a message for Hayley, Hayley, okay, and say that Joe from Woolly Cottage sent you over her way to ask about her fleeces, her Blueface Leicester fleeces, and does she have any available. If she hasn't, she'll let you know, or she'll thingy when it's coming up for time for shearing, because it's lambing season's coming up now, so they won't be getting sheared, but she might have some available elsewhere. Okay, so the next question was from Hilly. Now Hilly's been spinning for about 40 years, and I always say to her, remember to go and put your question on Patreon. She's like, I never know what to say. I said, well, you've got 40 years experience behind you, love. So what she said is, I'll stock a question on there that might suit a beginner. Fair enough. If that's the way you want to go, you do that. Like, from a beginner's point of view, what type of information would you have liked to have known when you first started out? Because it's a massive learning curve. So Hilly says, can you share information about micron counts? So micron count is a measurement of the diameter of a single strand of fibre in units of 1/1,000,000th of a metre. It is used to grade fibres and wool to help determine the softness of a yarn. So the softness, a lower micron count means thinner fibres, which are usually softer. So if you've got a 14.5 and a 22 micron count, then the 14.5 is a lot thinner, a lot softer, and a lot finer wool. So the lower the number, the better or finer the wool is. The higher the number, it goes from ultra fine, super fine, fine, then medium coarse, fine to coarse. Oh, is it fine to coarse? So fine to medium, and then from medium, and then medium to coarse, and then you've got your really coarse wools like your Herdwicks, that sort of thing. Okay. Fibre grading. Micron count is used to grade wool with finer wools and used for garment and coarser wools that are used in rugs and carpets. Fibre selection. Micron count helps to assess fibre quality and track the progress of breeding programs. So if you've got a farm breeder, like say a Blue-Faced Leicester, for example, okay, and they're wanting to breed the sheep with a really, really fine, good quality micron count in there because they've had them looked at a fibre centre. I'll tell you about that in a minute. It is, hold on a second, I'll do it now while I'm on the subject. It's measured with an optical fibre diameter analyzer, or an OFDA, and can be used to measure micron counts, and certified fibre labs provide accurate micron counts. So if you've got a Blue-Faced Leicester who's had its micron count evaluated and assessed, and you've been given what it's worth, say it's like 23 micron counts, but the average of your sheep in the field are, say, nearer the 30, and you've got a couple with a lower number, then you know what you need to aim for. It might be something to do with the quality of the land, the quality of the grass that they're eating from, that can be making it changing the difference in the micron count. It might be just down to the breeding program that they're on, or the type of food or diet that they're given if you give them supplements. So there's all those sort of things that people take into consideration when it comes to wools. Micron count of different fibres. For example, alpaca can range from 20 to 41 microcounts. That's a heck of a big range. But for me, Surrey alpaca would be on the lowest range of that, the lower ratio of 20 micron counts. But for me, I would think that the Haikuya would be further up the scale, because I find that really quite itchy to wear, because it is a slightly coarser fibre in comparison to the Surrey alpaca. Angora rabbits, their micron count will range from 10 to 18. A camel ranges between 15 to 22 micron counts. Cashmere, 15 to 16 micron counts. Mohair, 23 to 38. The average merino wool, so the ones that we work with all the time. So if I say to you 23 micron count merino, it's been hand dyed, or 21 micron count merino has been hand dyed, then the average is 21 to 22 for a standard. Okay, then it starts to go down the scale in the sense of fine merino is 18.5 to 19.5 micron counts. So that's actually finer than your 21 to 22. Super fine is 15 to 18.5 microns, and ultra fine is anything less than 15 micron counts. So I get that once in a blue moon, I'll buy it, but I use that to blend in with things. I wouldn't, it's seriously expensive as well to buy. Shetland wool varies from 23 micron counts, but you've got to take into consideration that the neck and the shoulder is 10 to 20 micron counts, and the breech part of the wool, or the hind legs, the hind quarters, are 25 to 35 micro counts, which is usually used in carpets and rugs coarser. Now the neck and the shoulder, and I've read this in books, that Shetland knitters up in the Shetlands and Island Skye and everything else, they would always, for doing shawls, they would pinch the fluff from the neck of a lamb or a ewe or something like that. They'd take it off, probably cut it off where, and they would spin that off into yarn. But the old tale is, the reason why they do that is because the shawls have got to be really, really fine. And they were always knitted as a lace as well. But when somebody was getting married, the bride ring would be grabbed a hold of from the groom. And if the shawl that was been made for her could fit all the way through, literally pull it all the way through until it comes out the other side, an entire shawl, then that could be gifted to the bride for good luck. There you go. It's an old fable. So that's the questions for Q&A. I really, really appreciate you having a go and putting some questions in. Be really great. I know that you guys are really, really busy, and I've been saying this quite a lot recently. If you want me to give up on doing the Q&A for the time being, let me know. If you're far too busy to sort of get in and interact, I may have to do something else instead, because this is like your extra bonus video that I do throughout the month. I do usually do 3 to 4, and then I do a Q&A on top. But if you want me to pause doing the Q&As for the time being, let me know. I have got other things that I really need to get on with rather than doing those all the time. But I have been working on a secret project in the background. Liz and Hilly know all about it, so does Sandra. So I'll show you now. It's on the computer. Now, some of you have been saying to me for years, Jo, you need to write all this down and do something with it, all the information that you know. And believe me, it's a lot of research that I've done over the years to get to the information that I know that's in my head. It doesn't always come out when I'm asked a question, not spontaneously anyway. I'm usually pretty good, but sometimes it doesn't. Or sometimes it's so much information that I find it hard to put into words. So what I've done is I'm writing a book. I'm writing a book. Hold on a second, I'll try and turn these around. There we go. That is the first. I'm not doing chapters as such, it's more sections. But some of these bits will seem familiar to you. So I'm up to about 37 pages so far. But yeah, it's taking its time. I'm getting there in the end. So I will pop these on so you can see full screen. There we go. Now let me see. There's next page. So this I'll be doing self-publishing. Hope you guys don't mind, but I'm using the Patreon membership money to help towards saving up to get this done. So this is my introduction. Get ready to dive into a colourful world of fibre creation. This handy guide is your ticket to mastering carded bats and art bats using a vibrant mix of wools, silks and plant-based fibres. You'll get the hang of blending your personal stash in no time, sparking your creativity to spin enough yarn for big projects like snuggly sweaters and stylish cardigans, or maybe that perfect balance of wool for that summer shawl that you've been eyeing. The guide is filled with beautiful photos and easy to follow instructions on how to lay out roving in a dye tray, helping you nail down your desired look. Whether you're off after a stunning grading or a gentle fade or that elusive 600 grams of fractal spun yarn, we've got your back. And don't worry, these blending methods work just as well for crochet or weaving and hand-spun creations. Each section wraps up with notes and a recipe page for you to jot down your thoughts and ideas. Meet Jo, a self-taught spinner, weaver, dyer and fibre blending artist who has been perfecting her craft for almost 10 years through her venture, Woolly Cottage, and personalised teaching in her home studio. And for the past 5 years, she's been inspiring crafters like you through YouTube and Patreon tutorials, encouraging everyone to tap into their own creative potential. This workbook guide is the result of her hard work and passion, so grab your tools and let's get crafting. It is time to let inspiration flow in your fibre creation journey. There we go. That's an old picture. I was taken on Christmas Day about 4 years ago. So that's my intro I've got to get doing. So this one you'll recognise because this is what I was talking to you about the other week there is the colour therapy or the colour wheel terminologies, and breaking it down into more conversational instead of doing it where you've got these books and they make it sound like it's so technical and so hard to understand, when really it's actually quite easy. It's very simple. You just need to think out the box a little bit. So that one that I did last week, the colours revisal on colour theory, is from these 2 pages. Now I'm looking for beta readers because I'm self-publishing. The publishing company that I'm going with charge literally, I think it's 29 pence a word for doing proofreading. So what I was thinking of mind is 1 or 2 people. So I've got Liz, and I've got Liz that's helping me, and I've got Sandra, and I think I could do with 1 more person just to help even out the odds, because of the way that I'm writing it is more conversational than it is really quite rigid and textured, like a university sort of grade, or somebody that's has that methodical mindset. Well, I'm not. I'm more the conversational. Here, this is what I do, and this is easy for you to do type thing. So I'll read you this. This is designing with colours in mind. When designing with the colours for knitting, it's important because it significantly impacts the overall look and feel of a knitted piece of, for example, influencing the visual interest, mood, and even the perceived quality of design, allowing you to create a unique aesthetic by carefully selecting and combining different hues, shades, and contrasts to achieve the desired effect. Your key points when choosing your colours to work with is visually appealing. A well-chosen colour palette can make a project visibly captivating, drawing attention to the pattern and the details. Your mood and emotions can evoke different emotions. To choosing colours intentionally can convey a specific feeling like warmth, calmness, or energy. When it comes to knitting, colour is your new best friend. It can transform your project from meh to wow, influencing everything from the design's mood to its perceived quality. By carefully picking and mixing different shades and contrasts, you can create a masterpiece that is uniquely you. Remember, colour can make or break your project's visual appeal. A well-chosen palette can draw eyes to your intricate patterns and details, but colour isn't just about looks, it's about feelings too, whether you want your knitted creation to radiate warmth, exude calmness, or burst with energy. The colours you choose can help convey these emotions, so choose intentionally. Your colours are telling a story, so make it a good one. So let's take a fun dive into the world of Fair Isle Yoke Designs. The secret sauce here is all about those contrasting colours. They really make your design elements pop. And remember that the colour weight theory that we chatted about is a game changer. Mixing the light and dark shades can add a whole new depth and texture to your knitted masterpiece. So go ahead, give it a whirl, and watch your fabric come to life. So the next time, just think, isn't it amazing how the colours we choose can be such a powerful form of self-expression, whether you're picking your own favourites or thinking about what someone else might love. It's all about letting your personal style shine. So next time you're choosing your colour palette, remember the cool stuff that we talked about. You're now equipped with a solid understanding of colour theory basics, primary, secondary, complementary and analogous colours. And you know how they can dance together to create a harmonious mix. And don't forget, next time your colours are in grayscale, it can help you see their weight value, ensure your pattern pops against its background. And remember, saturation is all about the intensity and vibrancy of a colour. It's the spice in your favourite dish, and it can truly transform the overall impact of your design. And when you're working with multicoloured patterns, you're the boss. You decide which colour takes the lead. This can make a huge difference on how the final piece is viewed. So go ahead, trust your instincts and let your colours sing. So there we go. So that's just a for instance of how I'm coming across in these pages. I wanted to be more your mate, having a chat with you and trying to explain how easy and simple it can be, and it's fun. I'm not looking for a book that's really serious, because I've read loads of those books, and sometimes it just can feel overwhelming. I only tend to open up those books when or if I'm looking for something specific, but I don't want to sit there and read it from beginning to end. So on these pages, I'm talking about different types of rovings and the types of fibres and how different fibres interact with rovens and wools when you're dyeing with them and things like that. And then this is a section that we're covering at the moment on Patreon, the woven preparation, yarn and styles. So everything I've spoken about in the last 2 weeks, I've been writing down like a school report, talking here about fractal spun yarn. So that is what I did on the video you just watched. Then I'm going into art bats. Now, the other pages beforehand, they'll expand as I go along with the next couple of different types of preparations. And then I'm going to do the same type of preparations using carded bats. And I will do more photographs showing step by step how I make them. So there will be pages in between that you could put notes on and write in your ideas or things that you might find useful from what I've explained within these pages. That's where we're at the moment. Yep, that's it. So there we go. That's been my top secret and what I've been up to in the background for the last 2.5 months. Lots of photographs, lots of writing up, lots of note taking, and enhancing and explaining what I'm doing, but more in a chatty sort of like my videos type way. Okay, that's what I'm hoping to achieve. Liz has been volunteered, whether she knows it or not, to be my beta tester, because she's been really, really grateful at critiquing things that I've written in a positive way. So she'll be getting one of the copies of this book for free when I finally get it published. I have to get, at the moment, I can only get hold of 10 copies. I could go more, but my budget, I've got to save this money up. I've got to get a proofreader, unless I can get beta testers to go through it in case there's anything in there, and then I can avoid having that done. Then I need to have a design editor for the cover of the book. Getting at least 10 books printed off, and I need to register with the libraries of books, which is what you have to do legally anyway. And then there's something else that I need to do. I can eventually get it done into an ebook, but I'm not going to do that at this moment in time because that's an extra £250. So it's working out roughly, it's going to cost me about £800 to have the first 10 books published. Then once I've got the editing and all the rest of it out the way, and it's all been done and verified, and I've got the proof copies, and that it's turned out as good as I'm hoping it will, then I'll be able to just pre-order, I'll be able to get them in for myself. And I'm looking at round about $20 to $22.99 for these books. I will eventually, once I get so many of the books printed up and sold, then I can start putting the money aside for the ebook. And that'd be great, because obviously at the moment, the way things are with the EU and these general product safety regulations, I can't post out or take orders to Europe. So I thought with the digital copy, they can't stop me doing that one, because you can literally just buy it and then you've got it on your Kindle or wherever it is, or on your computer, and then you've got it there and then in front of you. So yeah, that's what I've been working on, and that's what I will be working on for at least the next 6 months. And it's going to be loosely based around your videos on YouTube, on Patreon for the time being. Some of them will be new and you won't know that I've done them. I might do different types of bats, because obviously I've got to spin them up and do the swatches, and I'm doing that all the way through. So yeah, so thoughts and opinions and ideas underneath. If there's any type of thing that you think you'd like me to include in the book, I'm not, as I say, I'm not going down the technical route. It's been suggested that I do another 2 after this. So this one's going to be just Rolags and bats. I have got idea for doing another book, which will be Rolags, blending boards and hackles, which I thought would be a really good way to go down that route and do something exactly the same as this, but using different equipment. And then maybe if there's going to be a third one, it will be different ways to dye yarn, which could end up being a bit more technical. But I want these books to be really friendly approach to people that are novices or just getting into it, and up to the more experienced, but just want something a little bit different toned to read and get inspired by. But yeah, that's where we're at. So if there's any ideas or thoughts, or if you want to volunteer to help me proofread and edit this book as we go along. It'll probably screenshot, because at this moment in time I haven't figured out how to get it printed off. So I'd probably take a screenshot of the first couple of pages that I've got and then message them to you or email them to you, and you can read up, and then you can just drop me a message and let me know if there's certain sections you think need to be tweaked around. Or you might not like the way that it's been written, in the sense of it sounds too what's the word, too chatty, and you want it more formal. You would feel more comfortable like that. That's not the look that I'm going for, but I understand the criticism, and some people like that. And maybe I could adjust the tone of it at some point down the line when I'm editing it. We'll see. But yeah, so that's it for now. So thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. If you'd like to support me in any way financially on this, you know where PayPal is. I'm on Ko-fi as well. You can donate a cup of coffee on Ko-fi, and that will help me save up the money quicker to get this book published, hopefully this year. We'll see how things go. Beta tester, if you want to volunteer, if someone wants to volunteer, give me a shout. I think I'm only looking for maybe another one. I'll see, but you would receive a free copy of this book as well once it's up and going. And I appreciate the help and a different viewpoint from somebody else. So give me a message, drop me an email, or get me on Instagram. Drop me a message and let me know what you think, if you want to help me out on this. Anyway, I'm off. Take care of yourselves. I shall be doing another spin-up video next week. It will be the short colour change in the orange and blues again, like what I just did. I will do a 2-ply on the short colour change and a 3-ply on the short colour change, and we will look at the samples of that one as well. So take care for now, and I will see you in a week.